What's up, guys? ArtistVersion1 here, and welcome back to another edition of the Three-Way Dance Wrestling Podcast. But tonight, it is not a three-way because, unfortunately, Nick is not joining us. He is, I guess, away on assignment. He's building cat patios and shit, as I saw on Facebook, because that's obviously more important than this. But joining me, as always, is Shelby, a.k.a. Shubs.
Make your back crack and your liver quiver.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait a minute, what? And then the liver quiver got me. Yeah, so I actually thought this was going to be the show that we review All or Nothing, or Double or Nothing, whatever the fuck the show's called. I had no idea until like last Friday. And I was like, oh, fuck, that's not this weekend? So then Shelby decided to disappear for a few days.
Yeah.
We had no idea what the fuck we were doing until Monday. So I literally just threw him 3 retro pay-per-views. I was like, here's a couple ideas, or you can pick something else if you want to go for it. And he actually picked the one that I wanted to do the least, even though this does feature one of my favorite matches of all time.
Interesting.
You know? I know. I really thought you were going to pick Evolution because we were almost going to do that before lockdown.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not my favorite. I'm not a big. I don't hate women's wrestling. I think there's a bit of a. I think people seem to think I hate women's wrestling. That's not true. But I think that's also one that Nick would want to review too. So.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's on
I threw it
YouTube.
in there because I threw in Slamboree 2000 because I figured like he's not going to pick that because of fucking David Arquette, and In Your House Ground Zero just seems really random, you know. So I was just like, he's going to pick Evolution of the 3, so we ain't got to worry about it. That or he'll pick a wild card pick, you know. But then you're just like Ground Zero. I was like, okay, all right, I guess we can roll that. Because Ground Zero does feature one of my favorite matches of all time. I may have mentioned it once or 50 on the couple episodes here. So, but before we get to all that, we are going to play, you know, It Came From eBay, the 3-word dance here tonight. No after game tonight. We're just going to fucking, we're going to treat this like a quickie. We're going to get in and get out, you know.
Hell yeah.
Squirt the seed and get on out of here, you know.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, but before we get to all that, we're going to get to some news. And again, this was another 2 fucking weeks where like there was just nothing. You know, like fuck. But yeah. I guess we'll start with this one because you'll probably have more to say possibly have more to say about this than I will. But we recently lost superstar Billy Graham, classic superstar there, legendary superstar there. I believe former WWF champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, he won that? Yeah.
WWF champion.
Yeah, WWE Worldwide Wrestling Federation.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was recently put on life support for what did he have? Do you know?
Oh.
Or was it just like a culmination of things?
Fuck no, it was like, oh man, I can't remember, but I remember hearing about it like not that long ago because he made some outlandish comments about, I think it was trans people. And then like a month later, he was like in the hospital.
Sure that wasn't Rick Steiner?
No, it was definitely, or fuck. I just typed Billy Gunn. What the fuck am I doing? Billy Graham. Yeah, I remember he said, and I think it was like specifically about an AEW superstar, whether it was
probably Sonny Kiss.
I was gonna say whether it was Sonny Kiss or somebody else, I'm not sure, but oh fucking, that's the fucking religious Billy Graham. Fuck's sake.
Get it together, man.
I know, I'm fucking all over the place. I have a hard time concentrating on 2 things at once. Who would know? But yeah, he's been in the hospital for a little while, and it was looking kind of dire. I mean, the guy was 79, wasn't it?
79, they said.
Yeah, 79. So I mean, he lived a.
I thought he was older though, to be honest. I thought he was like almost in his 90s.
Yeah, you would think. Like it feels so long ago that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had an ear and skull infection that got worse apparently.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound.
Yeah, his kidney, his heart, his lungs, they all started being problems, I guess. But yeah, he was like a pioneer when it came to like 80s wrestling, especially. I mean,
yeah, because he was one of those guys that just started doing like, I wouldn't say flamboyant, but like wearing the bright colors and
yeah, like the promo, like he did I think it's Muhammad Ali was doing that in boxing, right? He did that fucking crazy promo that like nobody else was doing, aside from I guess Dusty, but even like the colors and all that too, and he could work. He could definitely work. Putting his politics such aside, I think he was a pioneer.
didn't he and Backlund and he and Dusty have some bangers in the 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even Bruno too.
Bruno? Yeah.
Yeah. When he came back in like 1980 something to try and take the belt back from Bob Backlund, he shaved off like all his hair and stopped wearing the bright colors and started doing like a karate master gimmick. And apparently that was like a fuck you to Vince Senior, because Billy Graham always wanted to be a babyface. He thought the character worked better as a babyface, and Vince Senior never wanted him to be a babyface. So it was like a fuck you to Vince Senior, and that was pretty much the end of him in WWE. I think that was WWF at that time when he came back. And then he went and worked for Crockett for a little while. I think he was at Starrcade '83.
Did he
First
wrestle
one?
there, or was he just
He
there?
did. He did.
Did? Oh.
I don't remember who he wrestled though. He had like it wasn't like a hardcore match necessarily, but it was like some kind of gimmick match. But yeah, it's too bad. But I mean, like I said, he lived pretty much a full life. I mean, I think 80's pretty good.
Well, 79.
79, but still.
Yeah. But, all right. Oh, shit. I got to use a pen, and it hurts. Just for anybody listening at home, I'm doing this like 2 days after I had hand surgery, so you're going to hear a lot of tonight. So be prepared. Next up here, this tells you how bereft of fucking news I have. I don't even know what the fuck we're going to say about this, to be honest. I don't even know why I wrote it down. But AEW Collision was announced in the 2 weeks that we have been, or the week that we were off here. But the one thing coming from that, of course, everybody's talking about CM Punk returning. It's been announced to the United Center, so we all know Punk's coming back again. Woohoo, whatever. We've talked that fucking thing to death. That's why I didn't even mention the Punk.
Apparently he might not be coming back now.
Well, they said that like they pretty much said that like if they go to Chicago, it's gonna be Punk. If they go anywhere else, Punk's not coming.
Right, because of the whole Ace Steel thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much since they announced it for Chicago that he's coming. But
right.
The other thing that everybody was talking about with the Collision announcement is that how similar the Collision logo looks to the Nitro logo, which ironically aired on TNT as well, which is going to be Collision's home network. And apparently that actually got some people up in an uproar here.
Oh, yeah? I mean, yeah, it does look similar, and I think it was probably done on purpose to look similar.
See, and that's, I made a joke about it in the group chat that we have here, but like, I mean, like, honestly, 2002, TNT, TBS are like, no more wrestling. Fuck it. We don't want it. Get it off the station. And that's when Vince was just like, well, if y'all ain't going to use it, I'll take it and shit. And now here it is 2023 and TNT's just like, we love wrestling. What the hell? We never said we didn't want wrestling. Come on. Like, what the fuck, man?
Well, I mean, a lot. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
A lot can happen in 20 years, especially with like turnover of staff and stuff. So, I mean, at one point, Turner was known for its, wrestling content. So, I don't know. Maybe they want to go back to the classics. And this was, it's kind of interesting the way that they made this look like the old Nitro logo.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really that.
See, I thought it was just me at first. Like when I looked at it, I'm just like, that looks like a Nitro logo. But I was like, maybe I'm nuts. And then everybody started mentioning it. And I'm just like, okay, so it's not just me.
It's honestly mostly the color, I think, just because of the red and the yellow. But I mean, it does have the Saturday and the Monday where it was before, I guess, and the TNT logo's on there too. But I don't know. I think it's clever on AEW's part to try and like cash in on some of that,
Yeah. And something else here. There's something else you might be interested in here. Because we were talking before we started recording about possibly reviewing Evolution this week, the sole pay-per-view that WWE did where it was nothing but women and Michael Cole. But now they are actually making a movie on the life of, I guess, classic wrestler Mildred Burke.
I heard about this. Charlotte and Liv are going to be in it.
Yes, they are. So, is this something that you'd be willing to check out, or
Oh
you're
yeah,
like,
for sure.
really?
I've never seen a Mildred Burke match. I mean, women's wrestling wasn't taken super seriously back then. I mean, Mildred Burke was probably one of the first most popular female wrestlers, but I haven't seen a lot of footage of her out there,
Mhm.
so I'd be interested to learn a little bit more about her.
Yeah, I've always heard of her, but I've never really seen anything about her. And I'm noticing there's a lot of wrestling movies coming out lately. You got the Von Erich movie coming soon.
Oh yeah, I
Now,
forgot about that.
yeah, now we got Mildred Burke coming and shit.
Yeah,
Now
plus
I'm curious if somebody's really going to finally pull the trigger on that Chris Benoit movie. You know,
I
they
think
teased
it'll
it.
happen someday.
Yeah,
I think
and
it will happen.
so yeah, I'll probably check it out just to, maybe learn something about her.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
I think it
apparently
might
at
be
one
good.
time they outlawed women's wrestling in the National Wrestling Alliance, which is really weird considering if you go look at the National Wrestling Alliance, there's so many women's titles they used to have.
Yeah, well, those were all regional titles, right? Like there was no real NWA women's champion. You know, they were
Mm-hmm.
all regional. Like Mid South would have their own, and fucking Atlantic would have their own and stuff. So I mean, and I think like a lot of places didn't have women's wrestling as well, right? It just all depended like what people were looking for in that market.
Yeah.
So
And the last thing here, believe it or not, that I want to mention here, because you and I, we play video games and such like that, but
yeah.
the AEW video game has
Oh
finally been given a release date, the third release date that I've seen it's been given, because the original release date was December 31st, 2022. That came and passed with like nobody noticing, nobody said a word. Like,
yeah.
hey, what happened to that game? Nobody said anything. Then it just didn't have a date. Then I read it was June 27th, and I was like, oh, okay, good. They finally got a date on it. Then it moved up 2 days to June 29th. And apparently, this game is taking the classic, if anybody ever played, WrestleMania 2000 on 64 and No Mercy on 64, it's taking that type of approach, and ironically, made by the same company,
Mhm.
but in a PS4 and PS5 and Xbox, world here. So is this something that you might check out or no?
I am gonna wait, and the reason I'm gonna wait is because when a game gets delayed like this, it usually comes out super buggy and unplayable.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of sounding like what they did in No Man's. You've heard of No Man's Sky, right?
Yeah, I've heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like a game where you're supposed to go to all these other planets, and they said it was like an infinite world of planets, and it came out and it was a pile of garbage, and it got fucking terrible reviews. Same thing with like Fallout 76. That's a huge one too. That like people were. I think that was the online
Or
one
if
that
you want to
people were.
go, or if you want to go old school like Daya Katana.
Yeah. I just I have a feeling it's going to be a pile of garbage, and it's going to cost $79. So I don't know. I
Oh
wasn't
yeah, that's the
too.
Canadian price. Yeah, and see, that's the thing that bugs me with me. And I was talking about this on YouTube the other day, and that is like, there was a game that came out I think last year, the Evil Dead video game. If anybody's a fan of the Evil Dead movies, when that game came out, I think it was like 39 or 49 bucks American, just FYI.
Mhm.
Um, and that was across the board: PS5, Xbox, PS4, all that shit. Which okay, fine, cool, whatever. And I think with the gameplay that they're going for here, like taking that classic 64 looking gameplay, like even the energy bars are like, like special, you got to do it like that and everything. I thought a $40 price tag was good.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I'm in for 40 bucks. But yeah, here in America, it's going to be $59. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know. And then plus, like I've mentioned before, they're mentioning shit on here that like I think should be standard in other wrestling games. They're like, we're gonna have tag team maneuvers. I'm like, you shouldn't be like
Yeah.
celebrating that. Like that's a big thing.
Yeah.
WWE games have, and I understand you're not a WWE game, but like still, other wrestling video games have been doing that for like fucking 15, 20 years now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you announce shit like that, that worries me.
Yeah. They should be aiming for a WWE quality game with something a little bit different other than a different roster, right?
Mm.
Like that's because they're kind of the marker. That's where you want to kind of hit is like what they do. but make it a bit different.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I'll give them that. They're not going for WWE 2K23. They're not going for realistic. They're going for arcade.
Yeah,
and
that's the other
fun.
thing too. I don't know, like arcade style isn't really my thing. I downloaded an emulator so I could play SmackDown 2 Know Your Role, and like that's fun for like an hour, and then after that I kind of get bored of it. So I don't know, but I'm definitely willing to like investigate it a little bit and see if it's kind of worth it. I'll definitely be checking like YouTube out for videos once it's released.
Yeah, like I've seen some things that I'm like, I like this, I like that, but like, yeah, like you said, it's been delayed a lot. And like I said, some of their announcements that they're just like, we have tag team maneuvers. I'm like, why are you
Yeah,
announcing that? Like, that's good.
I think it's
You know?
gonna flop. I really do, and I think it's going to send Kenny Omega into a fucking just very upset time because this was like his baby, right?
Yeah,
Like
pretty
this
much.
is what he was trying to focus, especially when he was recovering all his time on, and I don't think he's going to be able to handle when it fails, and I think it will fail. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
Plus, I think it's crazy how like somebody like Evil Uno, who's been out there like on the gaming circuit. I don't know what the fuck it would be, but like he's been out there like, yeah, AEW is coming out with a game, man. It's Fight Forever, and look, it's gonna have this, and he's not even on the fucking roster. Like the game roster, I should mention.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and
Did
that
they?
just if I were Evil Uno, I'd be fucking smacking somebody for that.
No shit. Did they get rid of Cody Rhodes?
I've heard rumors that they at first they were just going to leave him in because he was already contracted to the game. But then
Yeah.
I've heard somebody let me know the other night that I heard that he's going to be removed.
I was gonna say I think he'd have to be with like it'd be different if he was working for like Impact or something, but I think because he works for WWE, I think they have to remove him. I don't think they have an option.
Yeah, I heard that they were going to keep him in regardless because he was already contracted to the game and he was under contract with AEW, so they were going to keep him in. But then recently, like somebody who comes to the lives who's like a big AEW mark, he was like, yeah, they requested that he be removed.
Yeah.
All right, so that was, believe it or not, that was the news this week. Not a lot.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
was
not
that
a lot
3
going
items?
on here. 4.
4, okay.
Yeah. Well, technically 3 if you don't count Billy Graham dying as a news article. But but now we're going to move on to our abbreviated version of It Came From eBay because Nick isn't here tonight. So this is where it gets a little complicated. No, I wouldn't say complicated. So in this
interesting.
Yeah, interesting. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. So in this version of It Came From eBay, I'm going to give Nick the same 3 items as he usually gets.
Yeah, Nick.
Or whoever you are. All you fucking white people look the same to me. I don't care.
Unnamed co-host number
1. Yeah,
one.
there you go. And his object here is to find the most expensive price. But there's a caveat to it. If he finds the middle, the one that's in the middle, nobody gets any points. And if he finds the cheapest, his opponent, Nick, will automatically get a point. So
I'm still winning, so it doesn't matter. I think I'm blowing him underwater still.
You could lose 3 here tonight.
I could. I think I have in the past.
So all right. So your first 3 are, we're going to go back to this one right here. We're going to go back to the WWE Championship Pet Bowl. So if you got your pet moose and everything, you could use this bowl to feed them. Might be 1 bite, but you could feed them.
Yeah.
Or is it the where's another one on here? Yeah, the WCW Buff Bagwell backpack lock, and it's sealed. This is a lock that you would put on your backpack so people wouldn't break into your shit. Which I mean, they could just steal the backpack and cut it open later, but whatever.
Yeah.
But believe it or not, it features Buff Bagwell on the packaging. Of all the WCW stars that they could have chose, they chose Buff Bagwell.
It sounds like a 2000s item.
I think it was it was 2000. It was 2000.
Yeah.
Because that actually coincides with, where's the third item at? Where the hell is it? Where'd it go? I know it's written on here. Here it is. The WCW Perry Saturn Master Lock. This is just a lock for your locker at school and such like that. Still sealed, but it features Perry Saturn on the packaging, which I guess they were just trying anything at that point to get them not to leave. Like, please don't go. We'll put you on the fucking packaging for the Master Lock. Here you go.
Yeah, no,
Sounds
I'm
like
good.
I'm out of
See
here.
ya.
Yeah. So, which one of these three are going for the most expensive price on eBay?
Man, none of these like really stick out. I go with the Perry Saturn Master Lock.
Ooh, no points.
Uh,
It's actually in the middle because that is actually going for the price of $12.99. Yeah. So I think, yeah. I was, my mom actually had a procedure. I had my hand surgery, but like 2 weeks ago, my mom had a procedure, and I was looking on eBay while she was having this procedure, and I wrote down like a whole bunch of new eBay stuff. I found a whole bunch of great stuff, but I was putting it in my computer, and then my computer reset itself, and I didn't have it saved. So,
oh shit.
I know, ain't that a bitch?
Yeah.
So your next three here is it the WWF Razor Ramon original pendant with chain? It's the chain, and on the pendant there, it's like the razor blade, and it says Razor Ramon on it. And this is the original WWF one, not somebody making one in their basement. Or is it the 1990 Hulk Hogan infant baby slippers? These are little baby slippers you put on, and on the fronts there's like little Hulk Hogan heads.
I'll keep your feet warm, brother.
I'll keep your feet warm,
Little brother.
That's where I was going with that. Or is it the four WWF New York sealed sugar packets? Which one of these three are going for the most expensive price on eBay?
The baby slippers.
No points.
Damn.
Because that's actually going for the price of $99.99.
Wow, and one of those was more expensive.
Yep.
It was probably the pendant.
Or it could have been the sugar packets.
If somebody's paying over $100 for 4 sugar packets, I don't care what they say in them, they're fucked.
but it's from the ill-fated WWF New York restaurant.
Great, I got some sugar packets upstairs. You think I had $25 for them?
But they're not from WWF New York restaurant. You're missing the point there. All right, and your last three here. Is it the WWE Snowman Champion Snow Globe? This is a snow globe that features a snowman inside wearing the WWE Championship. And when you shake it, of course, there's snow.
What belt is it? Like what WWE Championship is it? What version?
I want to say it's the W.
That's kind of shitty, but all right, it's still kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that's the one. I didn't write down the year. I only write down like the information that's in the description. So if it doesn't have a year, I don't write it.
Yeah, okay.
Or is it the if I do those two, it's too obvious. Or is it the WWE 2002 Get the F Out Tour parking permit? This was a parking permit that they gave you, in the arena. There's certain area, like I used to get these when I used to go to WWE shows, but there's certain areas you can park in, and they give you a permit to put in your window. And this actually had the WWF logo on it that said "Get the F Out."
Oh, that's cool.
Or is it the WWF Aggression Sampler tape? This was a tape that was sent out to like record stores to be like, hey, do you want to get some copies of WWF Aggression album coming out? And it was had all the songs on there, but it was only like 30-second clips of each song. And this is a cassette tape. Which one of these three are going for the most expensive price on eBay?
Oh, come on here. I'm going to go with the Aggression tape.
The Aggression tape. In the parking permit. So that would be no points.
Damn.
No, wait. Points, Nick.
Fuck.
Yep, points, Nick, because that you were actually looking for. Oh no, wait, because that was the cheapest one. So that sampler tape is actually going for the price of $30. Yeah, $30 for that.
I wouldn't pay $30 for it, but
Well, that just shows that you and Nick aren't really big fans, considering that Nick was just ranting about like, oh my god, I gotta get this signed by Chili McFreeze. I'm like, he's $250, and he's like, never mind.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that either. I think he would sign it though if you brought it to him. I think he'd find it.
No, because they're a long time ago, Sunny, she did a before she became a murderer. She did a just so casual.
Yeah.
She did a signing and they brought photos to her to sign and everything, and she didn't like one photo so much that she took it from them, tore it up, and threw it away. So
I mean, Sonny, I understand, but I think Austin's a little bit more open to that kind of shit.
I don't know. I don't think he'd sign that because, like, for the longest time, Kane would not sign or talk about anything relating to Isaac Yankem.
Really?
He's kind of opened up about it recently, but like for a while, he would not fucking talk about it.
No shit, eh?
Yeah. All right, now we're gonna move on to the 3-word dance, which is a game that's supposed to be 3 words that relate to a wrestler, but now we just kind of use it to fuck with one another.
Honestly, I don't think I fucked with you that much this week. I think these are all pretty straight up.
Oh, good. I'm gonna fuck with you the whole night then.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So your first 3 are. Your first 3 words are. Ow. Those aren't the words.
Yeah. Okay.
Journey, trek, quest.
First one that's jumping out of me is John Morrison.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Journey,
JTQ.
Journey, trek, and quest.
Oh, these are all similar. Oh, these are all similar. It's funny. I'm good at making these, but I'm not good at figuring them out. Oh. Journey. Trek.
Quest, trek, journey.
These are all like it's funny because I can't think of any other words that mean the same thing, but I know what it's you're kind of going for here. Men on a mission?
No. Good guess though.
Yeah, I kind of thought so. It's kind of along the same lines.
Journey, trek, quest.
Hint.
Me and Mrs.
Yeah, that helped.
It should have helped.
Yeah, it didn't.
I'm practically giving you the answer there. Journey, trek, quest, and your hint being me and Mrs.
Yeah, that doesn't help at all. Oh no. Gotta think of something. On a mission. Who else would be on a mission? Mission or a fucking.
Sure you got the right synonym there, buddy?
Well, it's something along those lines. I'm just not sure if I could think of another synonym for it.
You just want to tap out here?
Unfortunately, yes.
Journey, trek, and quest are all synonyms for Odyssey. Me and Mrs. Jones. Odyssey Jones.
Oh, I was not going to get that anytime soon. Damn.
What?
Yeah. Odyssey is not a word I would have thought of. All right. My next 3, or my first 3.
Hold on. I got to get the pen. Okay, there we go.
My first 3. Man, intimacy, humanity.
Let's see. And humanity?
Yeah.
Humanity. Mankind?
Yeah, I had dude love, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Man, dude, intimacy, love, humanity, man.
Oh, okay.
My hint was going to be gun. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Your next 3 are. Your next 3 are spirit, saint, Darling. See, I like doing my fucked up ones when Nick is in here because he's been able to read through those lately.
Yeah. Yeah. Dolph Ziggler.
No.
No.
Spirit, Saint, Darling.
Saint. Darling. He also does sometimes just start rattling off names, which kind of helps me a little bit.
Oh, okay. Kevin, Allison, Tracy.
I mean, wrestler
Drew.
names.
Oh, okay.
God damn. Hint.
1000%.
Okay.
You know you need to stop saying that shit to my hints when I'm just basically giving it to you.
I don't know what that means. EC3.
No.
Yeah.
You know, if you didn't want to play,
I don't think that was an option.
We could have just skipped this segment if you didn't really want to play.
Oh my god.
Spirit, Saint, Darling, and you're. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the wrong person. No, I'm sorry. Take away that hint. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the wrong person with that hint. I was thinking of Shocker with 1000%. Sorry, my bad. Your new hint is Latin Lover.
Sammy Guevara?
No.
Oh, he's the Spanish god. That's where I got that confused. Latin Lover.
Spirit, Saint, Darling, your hint being Latin Lover.
Andrade.
No.
Um,
You said that with such confidence. I kind of feel.
Yeah, I wasn't confident, to be honest. It might have sounded like it. I can't remember who the fucking guy, the lead guy, is in the LWO now.
Rey Mysterio?
Not Rey Mysterio. The other one.
Oh, you can't remember Rey Mysterio?
No, the other one, the fucking Legado de Fantasma, the Lucha Suit
Santos
guy.
Escobar?
Yeah, Santos Escobar. That's yeah. No. I figured if you were giving it to me, it probably wasn't, but I figured I might as well go for it. Latin Lover, that does sound familiar. Latin Lover.
Spirit, Saint, Darling, Latin Lover.
Juventud Guerrero.
Not even close.
Yeah. I give up.
Spirit, Saint, and Darling, all synonyms for Angel. Angel Garza.
Oh my god.
And the Latin Lover, you know, lost. That's kind of like his gimmick. He's like a lover, you know.
Yeah.
I thought his dad Hector Garza was 1000% El Guapo, but I was like, wait, that's fucking Shocker. Wrong guy.
Either way, wouldn't have helped me.
Yeah.
My next three.
Okay.
Metal, T-shirt, paint.
Metal T-shirt. Metal.
Actually, I'm gonna change T-shirt to dress. So metal, dress, paint.
Is it Headbangers?
Yeah.
Again, if you didn't want to play this week, you could have.
I didn't feel like fucking with you this week, so I was like, I'm gonna try and like figure out ones, and then I think I just made them all really easy. I think you'll get the next one too.
Your last three from me. I think you might get that one, but I don't want you to get any of them today.
I don't think I'm going to. At the rate I'm going.
Let's go with. Fuck it. I'm gonna try this. I don't think you're gonna see through it, or you might. I don't know.
Don't give me that much.
Your 3 words are Carey, Barrymore, Penske.
Okay, so Drew Barrymore, Carrie Underwood, and I can't remember, but Penske I think is from the '70s show. Unless her last name was different than I'm thinking.
No, that's Pinciotti.
Oh, Pinciotti. Okay, so I can't figure out Penske then.
So Carey, Barrymore, Penske.
It's not Drew McIntyre.
Fuck. Yeah, Drew Carey, Drew Barrymore, Dr. Drew Penske.
See, I only had Drew Barrymore. I wasn't even thinking Drew Carey.
Yeah, when you said Drew Barrymore, I was like, fuck, he's going to put it together.
Yay, I got one. My last 3. Red, black, stink.
Joey Janela?
Nope.
Okay.
It's not a stink in reference to Nick or the 3.
Yeah, I know. That's what I always think. That's what I always think when we use stink there.
Yeah.
Red, black, stink. The fuck? Savio Vega?
Nope.
Patriot?
Nope.
Because your last 2 were from the show we're fucking reviewing, so I figured.
Fair
Red,
point.
Black, stink. Red and black. Those 2 are such vague fucking words.
Yeah, they are.
Oh my god. T.L. Hopper? No.
Nope.
I'd be surprised if you knew who fucking T.L. Hopper was.
I do.
Oh yeah, because you mentioned him last week or 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dirty white boy. Yeah. Fuck. Red, black. Ahmed Johnson.
Nope.
Farouk.
Nope.
All right, hint.
Time.
Red, black, stinking time. Time.
Yeah.
Time. Oh, Vader.
Yeah. Yeah. Red and black tights, and he never fucking washed them, so everybody said they fucking stunk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they all were from the fucking show we're reviewing.
They were, yeah.
Kind of, because Vader only makes like a cameo.
Well, and fucking Dude Love didn't have a match.
Oh, yeah.
He was just there. But
yeah. All right, now we move on to our segment that we like to have here, and that is Nick, what's up your ass?
Nick, what's up your ass?
All right.
I like how we just still do that segment anyway.
You have anything up your ass?
No, I'm not an up and ass kind of guy.
Yeah,
I like to keep that. Well, I like to keep that shit well hidden, deep inside the nooks and crannies. The ass.
I know, like one of the guys that comes to the lives, he knows your feelings on AEW, and he was just like, I can just hear fucking Shubs' review of AEW Double or Nothing now. I was like, yeah, you're probably pretty spot on.
You know, we haven't really mentioned this yet. I think we're only doing one of them.
Yeah. Because for those of you listening at home, before we get into moviesarusa.biz, their new website. But yeah, I didn't realize they were both the same this weekend. I was like, there's no way they're doing them both this weekend. And I'll be damned. They're doing Battleground, NXT Battleground on Friday. Or Saturday. They could be doing them both. I don't fucking know. They're either doing NXT Battleground on Friday or Saturday night, one of the two. But they're doing Night of Champions in the afternoon, which,
Yeah.
and then Double or Nothing on Sunday, which I was just like, the fuck? I was like, oh shit, well, we might as well make it a supersized show and do both of them. And Shelby was like, that's not going to happen. You know? So I was like, all right then. So
I do think I think Night of Champions is going to be a better show. However, we do way more WWE pay-per-views than we do AEW.
Yeah.
And I'm not really looking forward to this one, but I think we should do the AEW one over Night of Champions. Besides, let's boycott Jeddah.
Plus, we've already penciled in AEW, and plus, most of our retro pay-per-view reviews are also WWE.
Yeah.
It'll probably be after the last one will be a long time before we hit a TNA one again. That fucking piece of shit. Although we did decent numbers on that for us. Again, we're not a huge podcast, but we actually did.
No.
It started off very slow. We only got like 18 in like a couple of days, and all of a sudden it just shot up to like 50 something. And I was just like, damn. Like we did better on you. That was one of the weeks we did better on YouTube than we did on Amazon, Apple, Spotify, all that shit. And speaking of which, Amazon, Apple, Spotify, the day of this recording, it is actually our 1-year anniversary of us joining those platforms. So,
wow.
Yeah, there's your wrestling fact of the week right there. But before we get into reviewing this pay-per-view, In Your House Ground Zero, which if you don't know which match on this show is one of my favorite matches of all time, we got to talk about the sponsor of the Three-Way Dance Wrestling Podcast, that being the great people over at the former MoviesRUSA.net. MoviesRUSA.net, no more. If you type in that website, it's going to lead you to the new website, MoviesRUSA.biz, B-I-Z, and it's the same website as before, but it's built newer. It's more gooder than the last one. It's more organized. Everything's more organized. Everything looks nice and everything. Plus, no more spend $50, get free shipping. The hell of it. You know?
Yeah.
Guess what?
What?
Free shipping.
Holy shit.
Free first class shipping, even for the international listeners.
Even for them.
Even for them.
Ho, ho.
So free first class shipping for international listeners, and you can head on over there and pick up. Lately, I've been watching the show. Did you ever watch Scrubs when it was on?
No, I heard of it. Never watched it.
I hated the show when it first came out. I watched it, thought it was very boring. And then I saw one episode. I was like, wow, this is actually really good. Went out and bought the whole series on DVD. Come to find out, MoviesRUSA.biz has the whole series on Blu-ray. Wish I would have knew that before I went out and bought the whole series. But you can get that on MoviesRUSA.biz, and you can use our checkout code still, 3-way, the word or the number, either one, and it will still save you 50% on your purchase, plus free first-class shipping. International listeners, like I said, Canada's our number one listener. You know, France, India, Hungary, United Arab Emirates. We know you're listening out there. So if you guys want MoviesRUSA.net, you can get free first class international shipping, and you can still use that checkout code 3-way and save yourself 50%. And if you're like, hey, I don't want to watch Scrubs, there's plenty of other stuff on there. You can get the entire 1998 and 1999 year of pay-per-views, 14 pay-per-views in a Blu-ray set, including the Over the Edge pay-per-view where, tragically Owen Hart lost his life. I can confirm that it does not have the Owen Hart death announcement, but it does have Vader calling himself a fat piece of shit uncensored. So if you're curious about that, hey, there you go. All of these titles, plus over 3,500 titles now to choose from over on MoviesRUSA.biz. They're a proud sponsor of the Three-Way Dance Wrestling Podcast. They're not only a sponsor, I'm also a customer. Fantastic product they run there. So head on over, check them out. Let them know the Three-Way Dance Wrestling Podcast sent you. All right. So let's get into In Your House Ground Zero. Jim Ross, Jerry Lawler, and good old Vince McMahon calling the action on this show. I think this is like one of the last few shows that Vince McMahon would call before he would transition.
Actually, it was either this one or Bad Blood, I think.
Well, I know he had a couple others before he transitioned, but like I know this is like, you know, it's getting down to it to where he's gonna transition to an on-screen character more.
Yeah.
And this took place in that wrestling hotbed of Louisville, Kentucky.
It certainly did.
Yeah. So first match on the card, Goldust taking on Brian Pillman. Who would have
Hell
figured
yeah.
that one? And the catch to this match is that if Pillman loses, he's out of the WWF forever. You mean forever? I don't know why. I just like the way Goldust said that. Or if Pillman wins, he gets Marlena for 30 days, and he can do whatever he wants. Now, again, I want people to know, again, for reiteration at home, I watched this pay-per-view the day I had my surgery, so like my hand was like numb, so I could barely hold the pen. So my notes, I hope Shelby has more notes than me. So we're gonna try our best to talk about this pay-per-view like we talk about most other pay-per-views. So you know, forgive us if it's you know, not up to our usual standards, okay?
Yeah, because my notes aren't as detailed as yours.
Really?
Either.
Okay.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, when you do notes, right, you talk a lot about the specific moves and stuff. I don't usually talk too much unless there's something crazy that happens, but I don't take too many notes on the actual moves. So
okay. Yeah, I usually talk. Well, that's like to hit the, you know, because I could sit here and be like Jim Cornette and be like, okay, well then Goldust hit the clothesline and then Brian Pillman comes back and does it. I could do that, but then it's again, then we're like the other podcast.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, there's no point in us doing that, right? Like, it's different for somebody who's been in the business to do shit like that.
Exactly. You know, whereas like, you know, people, I like to look at this as like, you know, somebody like, oh, they're gonna review Ground Zero. Maybe I should go watch that show. Then they watch that show and they're like, oh fuck, and now I got to hear what they think about it.
Yeah,
you know, that's the way I kind of look at it. You know,
yeah.
So they don't need a fucking play-by-play. You know?
Or maybe they hear our review and they're like, we want to check that out now, and now we didn't spoil all the fucking match to them.
Yeah, I didn't spoil every fucking spot. And maybe they'll find something that I didn't mention and they like that better than me, you know, whatever, and vice versa. Anyway, so the first thing I was able to write down was Vince McMahon said on commentary, Marlena and Goldust, the first couple of the WWF.
Really?
You know, I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure you have built entire fucking storylines. In fact, you had an entire fucking pay-per-view built around Macho Man and Elizabeth.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, he just forgot about them because they left like 4 years before this.
yeah. And also the only other thing I was able to write down about it was the crowd was hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they were hot for this.
Yeah.
This was like, I think one of the rare matches that Pillman did wrestle in the WWF. He didn't, you know, again, he didn't last very long. I think like a month after this, he was dead.
Yeah, this was his last pay-per-view match, and I think this was his second or third last match in total.
Yeah.
He had a match on Shotgun Saturday night after this, but I don't think there was anything else really. So
yeah, they did like some, because the one thing I remember after this is that like he took Marlena to a hotel and they're like, oh, here, you need to fill this out. And he's like, okay. So Marlena's filling out and she writes down, help me on it and shit.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Like, I remember that segment and shit, you know?
That's up there with like Pillman's Got a Gun, you know?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's a little less hardcore because I think Pillman with a gun is a little bit more hardcore than
Well, still, yeah.
You know?
No, that's fair.
Because like this is around, you know, they're just now starting to find that quote unquote attitude.
Yeah.
You know, there's still some like, you know, new generation shit in there, but there's some other shit that's just like, oh fuck, you know, you didn't see that at the time, you know.
A lot of the new generation shit wasn't getting the same reaction anymore, right? Like the harder, like fucking edgier shit was definitely getting a better reaction.
I didn't write down any of the spots in this match because I couldn't. But I think overall the match, it was a decent match. The crowd loved it. You know?
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure these two have both had better matches elsewhere, somewhere else. Maybe together. Maybe they've had some better matches in WCW. I'm not for sure. But I don't know. The crowd was hot for it, and because of that, I give it 2 3/4 stars.
I love this match. It was so well done between the two of them. The storyline itself, there's a very clear good guy and bad guy, babyface and heel.
Mm-hmm.
And Pillman, I think, you know, and I think this is kind of the same as Austin, maybe not the same to the extent of Pillman, but I think the accident that Pillman had actually helped his career, because he was able to kind of tap in, and I hate to use the word character, but like that's kind of what he did, is he tapped more into like this psychotic kind of character, and that was some of his best work I think he ever did, as opposed to the Flying Brian stuff, because it was a little bit different and nobody knew what the fuck was going on. This felt like a very old school, like fucking Southern wrestling kind of storyline with the heel winning, which was kind of interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Pillman just grab Marlena by the hand and fucking drag her out of the arena at the
Just
end.
peace off out of there. They're out of there, man.
Yeah,
He's gonna start his 30 days now, man. He's gonna get his
See you
money's
later,
worth.
Gold Dust.
Yeah, he's gonna get his money's worth, so to speak. You know.
Yeah. He got fucking crotched twice in this match on the ropes. That was fucking entertaining as hell. It's always good to see a heel get fucking crotched on the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
Love the finish. It was a great match. And honestly, for me, and I hadn't seen this match before. I saw the one that you were talking about, and it's a very good match as well. I think this was match of the night. I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait. Did you just say this was match of the night?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can only imagine what you're gonna say about my favorite match.
Spoilers, it's not that bad. But
Okay.
I do think that this match was better. I think this match, especially because I think the crowd was more into this match, it just made it even better. And maybe it was just because it was the start of the show. But
Yeah, but no, this crowd was kind of hot all the way up until like the beginning of the Fatal 4-Way. That's when I kind of saw them die.
Yeah.
You know. Next up, WWE was trying to introduce the light heavyweights into the WWE to counterpart the cruiserweights of WCW at the time. And so we get good old Scott Putski just making his way down to the ring, almost a jobber entrance, but not really. And we get Too Sexy Brian Christopher, long before he was Too Sexy.
Yeah.
Brian Christopher. It was a pretty standard match to me. I can see why Scott Putski never got over. He had a good physique, but
he was bland.
I didn't really see anything there where I was just like, oh damn, why didn't they do anything with him when he came back from injury? I can see why. There was really nothing there for me. Whereas Brian Christopher actually did, he did what Brian Christopher does.
Yeah.
You know?
His dad, Scott Putski's dad, Ivan, was a lot better than Scott. But I mean,
and that's all they had for him, was just like, wow. Vince McMahon even said like, oh, they're still checking on Ivan Putski's son. I was like, damn, you can't even call him Scott?
Yeah, I know. I heard that too. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, Ivan's not even here, and you're not even calling him Scott. Like,
yeah, like you can't even call him by his fucking name. You're still referring to him as that. You should have just billed him as that. Like, coming to the ring, Ivan Putski's son.
You know,
like, shit.
Realistically though, Putski is a very unfortunate last name. You really need to like fucking make something yourself if your last name's Putski.
Yeah, they should have went with something like Scotty P or something.
Yeah, they should just. That's one of the times they should have just changed his name.
Yeah. It was just pretty. It ended in an injury, and that injury was fucking brutal. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I gave it 1 star just to be nice.
Yeah, I was a little bit nicer. I think this match could have been a lot better than it was. And I think this match was placed here because they were in Louisville, especially with Brian Christopher there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was going great. It was going good until the finish, and then it, unfortunately, is what it is. I gave it a 2 out of 5.
And during this time, we were in the middle of WWF's Gang Wars. We had the Nation, we had the DOA, and we had the Los Boricuas. And believe it or not, this was WWE's very first ever triple threat match.
On pay-per-view. I think they had one at a house show they had one that was like Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, and Bret Hart. or something to that effect.
Well,
Like,
just like the one at WrestleMania 10 was the very first one on TV. Fucker, this is the first triple threat match, okay? And it featured the leaders of those three respective groups, Farouk, Crush, and Savio Vega. And I was able to write down Savio Vega. I don't know who fucked up more in that neck breaker that Vega did, but Vega did like the neck breaker, and like Savio went one way and Farouk went the other. I'm like, huh? Like, okay.
yeah.
Smart idea for the double pin. Like, Farouk and Crush were just like, let's just pin them both. And the ref is like, no. Like, this is not how this works. You know,
Yeah.
I thought that was a clever little fucking thing there. And Crush was over as fuck.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he hit he set up for the heart punch and everything and fucking nailed it. This I noticed that there wasn't, you know, this wasn't like today's triple threat matches where, you know, that Shelby hates, where it's just like, you know, one guy disappears for about 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And then, you know, two other guys.
They did it a couple times, but
it wasn't for that long. Like Savio,
less than 30 seconds.
Yeah, Savio disappeared about fucking 14 times just so he could come back and break up the pin.
Yeah.
You know? But for the very first triple threat match, I thought it was apropos to give it 3 stars.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, this match was fucking brutal.
Really?
Not in a good way. I fucking hated it. The only thing I liked was, like you said, they didn't disappear for minutes at a time. It felt clunky. It felt like nothing was going on. I like slow paced matches. This was a slow ass fucking paced match. Nothing fucking happened. I gave it a fucking 0 to 5, and I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but I think modern triple threat matches are better.
Wow.
I know.
I really enjoyed this, man, because like I love the finish where it was just simple. It was like boom, finisher, and then Savio comes in with the spinning heel kick and shit. I fucking loved it, man.
And it really felt like the crowd was dead during this match. They were fucking sitting on their hands for most of this match.
No, they were hot for it, man.
Yes, there were like certain spots that they do that they would get hot, but like for the majority of it, I'm certain they were fucking sitting on their hands. And it's hard. Sometimes it can be hard to tell too whether it's like the crowd was actually hot for it or if they piped that shit in because it's on the network, right?
I don't think they piped it in for that.
Yeah.
No, they were doing live crowd reactions for that. But if we disagree on that match, I think we're really going to disagree on this next matchup. Because next up we have the minis in action. We have El Torito. No, not the Los Matadores Torito, not that one. But we have El Torito at 101 pounds taking on Max Mini, weighing in at only 83 pounds. And I noticed right before the match, there was a sign that said HBK sucks dicks, which caught my eye. That was pretty funny. The referee, apparently this is a no DQ match because Max Mini then bites the ass of the referee and kicks him. So that was pretty good.
That's comedy for you.
Yeah. But great kick to Torito after like Max Mini kind of like flips into the ring to like show off and just Torito just kicks him square in the fucking face. I thought that was great. And a clothesline by Torito and Max Mini does the classic like turn inside out. Again, nobody does it better than Rikishi though.
Yeah.
Awesome moonsault by Max. This was surprisingly really entertaining. I could have dealt without the fucking comedy bullshit on the outside with Lawler. If they would have cut that out, I'd be like, damn, this is fucking really entertaining. So for that, I give it 3.5 stars.
Finish felt like it was a little botched. I think they were supposed to do that beforehand, and there was a miscommunication error. But all things considered, isn't my kind of match, but it wasn't that bad. They did what they knew how to do. And like you said, they could have done without the comedy, but it was fun. They had some nice high spots and nothing looked like it was anything that they shouldn't be doing. I gave it a 3 out of 5.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm shocked on that one.
Yeah.
I thought you were going 0 or 1 on that one.
No, it's the same thing. Like I thought it was pretty good, but yeah, like the biting and stuff on the butt too. Like I probably could have done without that,
Well, like Torito or Max Mini, whoever was biting who, that I could have, like, okay, that could have been your comedy. But like once it turned into the ref, and then like Max Mini
jumped
jumping
out of the
on
ring,
Lawler's, jumping on Lawler's lap, and that's I'm like, come on, fucking get on with it. And I think that's when Max Mini came in and did the flip, and Torito just kicked him square in the face, and I was like, God damn, that was great.
Oh yeah, that kick was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, that was fucking great. I loved it.
I did like all the times they chanted Lawler's kid during this fucking pay-per-view too.
Lawler's kid. They even chanted at Max Mini.
Yeah. Oh, and JR was, and this was kind of like, this shows you the times, but he was like acting like Max Mini was JR's kid, and he's like, I want a fire truck, and I want a
yeah.
Like, Jesus, that's a little much, man.
And then he was just, oh no, there was like JR's joke missed, so he tried it again, and it still didn't work. Like Max Mini hopped on Lawler's lap, so JR said, like, does that remind you when Brian was a kid and you used to tell him stories? And nobody reacted. So then, like, once Mini got in the ring again, he tried it again. And, like, I think Lawler said something like, wasn't funny the first time or something like that. Next up, way more entertaining. It's just like WLC. It had no business being as good as it was.
Right.
Let's just put it like that.
Right.
But next up, we get an in-ring segment with Dude Love and Stone Cold Steve Austin relinquishing the WWF Tag Team Championships, and again, there's a little breath of attitude showing up there because Austin coming out doing his Austin shit, kiss my ass.
And this is another thing too, and similar to Pillman, I think this injury helped Austin's career. Because he kind of started to wrestle different. He got more of that attitude that he was already gaining anyways. And he was coming out and just stunning people for what, like 2 months?
Which shocks me because, like, he hurt his neck. So, like, wouldn't that maneuver hurt your neck even more?
If you fucked it up, I think so. But I don't know. I've never really given anybody.
I'm not a doctor, but I mean, considering how brutal that neck injury was and shit like that,
Yeah, I guess it's just because he's not like taking actual bumps, like he's landing on his ass, so it's safer. I don't know, but he did it. He did it for fucking months. He would just come out and fucking stun people.
Then they did that interview with JR back there. You can tell Vince that if this shit keeps happening, you can kiss my white ass. And I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the I don't know if this is the right time frame, but like, wasn't that the lead in to him bringing in fake Razor and Diesel?
I don't think so. I think that was before. I think that was the year before. Wasn't it 96?
Okay, maybe it wasn't. Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
So then maybe this was him, the lead into him bringing in Dr. Death.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, that would make sense.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But next up, we get a fatal 4-way tag team elimination match for the WWF Tag Team Championships. We get the Godwins, who are now heels, no longer good old country boys. The Headbangers. Davey Boy Smith and 2-time Slammy Award winning Owen Hart. And who am I missing?
LOD.
Fuck, I can't believe I forgot LOD.
Who got treated just terribly in most of their WWF runs. They never really had a chance in the WWF.
Well, I think
especially in the late 90s.
I think they would have got treated fairly the second time around, like when they won the titles from the Godwins, if DX wasn't starting to get over. If DX wouldn't have got over, I think they would have had a lengthy run with those titles.
They should have anyway. I mean, fuck. I still think they're one of the best tag teams ever.
I mean, they're no Rico and Charlie Haas, but
Fucking Rico.
I didn't write down any notes for this because I just couldn't anymore. My hand was killing me. Giggity.
Yeah.
But I remember in middle school, and I was a huge Donald Trump, huge mark for the fucking Headbangers. Okay. So when I found that they won this match, I was fucking ecstatic as fuck.
Oh shit.
And going back and watching this match, it was just meh. This to me, I think, would be the equivalent of a fucking Raw match. I think you could have put this exact same. You could have probably put this as the main event on Raw.
Right.
And it would have been decent because after, I mean, they did give the Headbangers their moment in a segment afterwards, like, oh, we're going to the concession stand, fuck yeah, but like it was all Steve Austin and Owen Hart.
Now, if I understand this correctly, that this match was originally supposed to happen, but Austin and Dude Love were supposed to be in the place of the Headbangers, because that's what they made it sound like on commentary.
I think they were supposed to be in the Fatal 4, but I don't know whose place they were supposed to have. I have no idea.
Okay, because I'm pretty sure when the Headbangers came out, they said that they lucked into the spot or something with Austin and Dude Love not being in the match or not being able to compete. But maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure Owen and Davey were supposed to be in there. And the other two kind of made sense too because they were feuding at the time. The Godwins and the fucking Legion of Doom.
I was gonna give it a point for each team in the match, but I was like 4 stars for this. No, that's not gonna happen. 3 stars. Just for nostalgia regions and the Headbangers winning the tag titles, and I fucking love the Headbangers. So
yeah, Owen Hart doing the chicken impression when the Headbangers were like hesitant to get in there with LOD was fucking classic. I don't like Fatal 4-Way tag matches, especially for Fatal 4-Way matches are not great either. And I know I'm going to be watching one this weekend.
But this is elimination.
This is elimination.
The one this Sunday is not elimination, to my knowledge.
It's probably not. You're probably right. I think it would have been better if it was LOD versus Bulldog and Owen, but I mean, neither won this match, so I guess that kind of defeats that purpose. But I did think that once it got down to the Headbangers versus Owen and Davey, it did get a lot better, and it kind of flowed a little bit better. I gave it a 3 out of 5. Could have been better, could have been worse.
Yeah, at that moment, I understand they're trying to get Austin and Owen over, but like it just became like it was like when The Rock defeated, or when the Hurricane defeated The Rock in the main event. It kind of took away from the Hurricane's moment with fucking Austin out there. Like that's what it felt like to me. It was just like, yeah, the Headbangers won, but like, fuck, look at Owen and fucking Austin. Like, like, oh, fuck, the Hurricane beat The Rock, but fuck, look at Rock and Austin. Like, it's one of those things where like it took away the moment.
The thing was, the Headbangers were never going to be selling tickets. It's like I don't think the Hurricane ever would have been selling tickets either. Not to the extent that Austin did, or The Rock for that matter. If you're talking about,
I think if they would have gave the Headbangers a lengthy reign as tag team champions, people would be like, "Hello, who?"
I mean, that was never going to happen because WWF doesn't put any kind of time into their tag team division.
Oh, that's true.
But, yeah, decent match, but nothing overly, nothing to go out of your way for. I don't think.
Only if you're a big Headbangers fan.
Yeah. Well, and even then, they're only really in half the match, so.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up is the WWF Championship heel Bret Hart, the I Hate America Bret Hart.
The best version of Bret Hart, in my opinion, and not because he hates America, just because like this was like
he was being feelings.
He was being himself, and that's when anybody.
I think it was just like, I hate WWF, but I'm gonna replace WWF with America, and boom, I got a character.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's taking on newcomer, the Patriot, Del Wilkes. Apparently the story with this is Del Wilkes has burst onto the scene and defeated Hart in a non-title match. So they said, you know what? You get a world title match. Fuck it. I wish
kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. But these days that don't happen. Where's Heath Slater's world title match for beating Seth Rollins at one time?
Happens in AEW. I will say they are pretty good with that.
But this is the match I just remember watching, and like I'm not usually a fan of arm bar, as I like to call it, wrestling, and knee bar wrestling and shit like that. But this is one of the matches that like I dug a lot, and this is like up there with like probably one of my favorite matches, one of the most underrated matches in my opinion, because everything's there, man. Like the crowd is firmly behind the Patriot. They hate Bret Hart. The announcing's there. Like fucking Patriot hits the Uncle Slam and Vince is selling it like fucking this is it, man. Patriot's gonna do it. Uncle Slam, the Patriot missile. Like you fucking believe that the Patriots going to walk out of fucking Louisville, Kentucky, and this American hero defeating Canada, defeating Evil Bret Hart. It's all there, and it's a great match. I mean, there's nothing more I can say about this. Fucking 5 stars.
Wow. That
Your
I
opinion
think
is wrong.
was that I think was one of Bret Hart's better promos. That one he did in the back about America and all that stuff. Like like we were saying, this Bret was on at this point. He was so good. It's too bad that they couldn't figure out his contract, because it really would have been interesting to see what would have happened to him come like when they actually hit the Attitude Era in 98, 99 and stuff. It had a hot start. I thought the Uncle Slam, the name for the Uncle Slam, is kind of gimmicky and stupid, but whatever. Match should have been thrown out multiple times. There was so many interference and so much like bullshit going on and fuckery. It should have been thrown out so many times.
Oh no, we're gonna talk about the match being thrown out.
Yeah. I feel like they kind of buried the Patriot here. I don't think they should have made him tap to the fucking.
He didn't tap.
I thought he did.
No, he just laid there. Then all of a sudden, the ref was like, "That's it. It's over. That's it."
Well, he gave up, because the ref said he gave up.
Oh, okay.
He did give up, and I think that kind of buried him a little bit. I think because there was so much fuckery in the match, I don't think it really would have hurt Bret.
They because at the time Del Wilkes was really on a lot of drugs, and I think around that time they found out about it, and they're like, "Oh shit, we really shouldn't be, hitching our wagon to this."
Right.
He probably would have been in that main event picture a little bit longer if they wouldn't have found that out.
Yeah, and I think he could have been.
Was it drugs, or he had a nagging injury? I think Bruce Pritchard talked about it, because I remember the term "damaged goods" being brought up.
I think he was like pretty far into his career at this point, so I could see like a lot of nagging injuries from like, especially the matches that he had in Japan.
But I know at one point Del Wilkes was on drugs too. So I don't know. Maybe a combination of both when they found this out. I don't know. So that's probably why it looked like a burial.
Did you catch when they were showing the video package of him in Japan, who was in one of those tag matches?
Of who?
The Patriot.
They were showing what?
They were showing the video package, and they had a match in Japan that they were showing.
No, I didn't.
Sabu.
Oh shit!
He had a tag match. I don't know who the other guys were, but Patriot was on one side and Sabu was on the other. I was like, well, that's weird. Yeah, I gave it a 3 out of 5. I remembered this match being better. But there's too much Gaga, and it's funny I say Gaga now. Well, we're gonna get to some fucking Gaga, but yeah, it didn't hit the same as it did the first time I watched it. Not a bad match though.
Your opinion is wrong. Match is incredible. Although I will say, yeah, there was a little bit too much outside interference, and Vader attacking Bret Hart should have been a DQ. But as for like like I said, it had it all. The crowd was firmly behind Patriot. They hated Bret Hart. Vince McMahon just calling the moves like you fucking believe, man. Like fuck, you're like fuck, Patriot's gonna do it and shit. And, it's fucking, I love it.
I would have liked to see another match with those two with a little bit more and better build than just, oh, I beat Bret once. You know what I mean? Like, there wasn't a whole lot of build to it other than that. So it's kind of like the who was the fucking Japanese guy he wrestled the year before? It's not Haku. Fuck.
Oh, Hakushi.
Yes. That could have been a lot better than I think it was too, with a little bit more build. Because he brought out, like, he did bring out the best in some guys that some other people couldn't. But yeah.
And believe it or not, that was not the main event. The main event being the first time ever meeting, at least on pay-per-view, or on television, I should say, of Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid. And Undertaker comes down to the ring, and right away, bam, we're down a ref.
Yeah.
Which that one I can buy because the bell hadn't rang yet.
Yeah, that's still kind of, I don't know.
I can buy that one. I can wrap my head around that one. Okay?
I suppose.
But The match goes on. Again, I didn't have a lot of notes for this. I really had to scribble these down today. But like, there's like the scuffle at the end of the match. And like, literally, Undertaker has Triple H up for a fucking tombstone, and Shawn Michaels walks over to him like he's gonna grab Triple H down, and then literally turns around and walks away, and Triple H hits a fuck, and Triple H takes the tombstone. I laughed out loud.
I totally missed that spot.
Yeah, like when during the whole scuffle at the end and everything, like
Right.
Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and shit come down. Triple H gets picked up for the fucking tombstone. Shawn Michaels walks over like he's gonna save him, but then he turns around and goes back to, I think, hitting Earl Hebner or some shit like that. And then Taker just drops him with the tombstone. I'm like, you just let him take a tombstone like that? Like, you're not gonna help your boy?
Yeah, no shit.
And then the other note I wrote down was, how many refs have to die?
Holy fuck. At one point, Shawn just like, I think the ref was counting for him, and Undertaker kicked out, and Shawn just gets up and boots the ref in the head. I'm like, holy fuck.
And then
what the fuck did he do to you?
This line is what gave me the inspiration for a new game that we might debut in a couple weeks, and that was this match had more ref bumps than a WoW pay-per-view.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, because like, goddamn, there was 4 fucking referees. So 3 referees that got beat up, and finally, what killed me is that finally, when the 4th ref came down, who was Tim White, he's the one that finally rang the bell and said, "That's it, that's enough." I'm like, it took 4 refs.
Yeah. After Shawn's like literally just punching them in the face. Holy
like
fuck.
I said, I can wrap my head around the first one because the bell hadn't rung. So when the bell rings, they're like, okay, the match is on now. But then, like, yeah, Earl Hebner just gets kicked, thrown into the turnbuckle. The other ref, I want to say it was Mike Chioda. I could be wrong, but he just gets the shit beat out of him. Oh no! Yeah, the first ref was thrown over the top rope, but again, before the bell.
Yeah.
He's thrown over the top rope to the floor and everything. But then finally, the 4th referee comes out and he's like, "That's it, DQ." I'm like, really? It took fucking 4 refs to finally come out and call it DQ.
Well, and so like, here's the thing, right? They're attacking refs just point blank. Nothing happens. Shawn just punches a ref. Like the next night on Raw, Sergeant Slaughter should come out and just be like, "Okay, Shawn, you're fucking suspended because you just beat."
Well, Shawn, you're fucking fired.
Yeah. And then instead, so I watched a little bit of the next night's Raw, and Sergeant Slaughter comes out and he's just like, "Yeah, things got a little chaotic last night. That's not gonna happen again." I'm like, wow, that's just fucking great job, Serge. Just no repercussions for anybody. Just gonna let them fucking do it. And like, they're bringing out weapons, and the refs aren't fucking doing anything. I guess like if you saw a ref get punched in the head, are you really gonna take a chair away from Michaels? Probably not. But they
plus, if you're a ref in the back, like who, like if you're a ref, like again, let's live in like we don't know wrestling's a work land. Like you're a referee in the back and you're watching this, like, who wants to go out there?
Not it.
Yeah, not it. Tim White's like, fuck. If I go out there though, I'm calling it DQ.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call it DQ and run.
Yeah,
I did like the end of it where they had all the wrestlers coming out trying to break it up, because it did turn into that chaotic fucking battle. But that made sense to me. But there was so much in this match that was just unrealistic and would just get thrown out anywhere. Like, it was just fucked.
It was a far cry from what would WrestleMania 25 would be.
It's also a kind of a caveat to like what would happen the next 2 years with like Rock and Austin, Triple H and Undertaker, where they'd have those like chaotic brawls at the beginning of matches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that. This was probably the first big one, but it felt like it went off the rails and a little too far.
They had to dial that back a little bit,
Yeah.
But I don't know, just given the participants involved, and just because it made me fucking laugh out loud at one point when Triple H just let his boy take a fucking tombstone. Like, when he was right there to help him. And one thing, if Shawn Michaels was down and everything, but he's looking right at him and just turned around and went to go do something else and just let him take a tombstone. I give it 3 stars.
This was also Shawn at like his worst. You know what I mean? Like, this was when he was really starting to get all strung out on drugs and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And the attitude was really coming out, and he was becoming a shithead. Especially that like interview that he did beforehand was just like, fucking what a prissy little prick. Yeah, this was. I don't even know if you could call this a match. This was more just an angle. And of all the matches they have, this is probably the least talked about, and I think there's a reason why. Do you know? I want to say that they've only had really 5 televised matches. Is that true?
I have no idea.
Because there was the Bad Blood Hell in a Cell.
Mm-hmm.
There was the Royal Rumble fucking casket match.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was the 2 at WrestleMania, one year after the other.
I'm sure there had to be some on like a Raw or something somewhere.
I don't think so, because unless they were like before Sean left.
Oh, Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I said Royal Rumble.
No, I mean when they were the final 2 in the Rumble.
No, that doesn't count. I
Yeah,
mean like a
does.
one-on-one match. Fuck off.
All right, we're done with this conversation. If you're gonna get rude.
You know, I got called a rude asshole the other day.
By a customer?
Sort of, yeah. I was like, all right. Nobody ever calls me a rude asshole. It actually means it. So this is great.
No, wait. We're gonna take a time out here. No, wait. I gotta hear this. What'd you do?
Oh, just this woman was like, just not letting me answer her questions. She just kept like hammering more and more questions. And then she accused me of like not responding and being rude. And I'm like, you're not giving me a chance to respond. You can't just.
Oh, so she was being the bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
100%. 100%.
I thought maybe you actually did something. Like
no, I might have got a little
like sit down and shut up. All right, now one, your heater will be fixed.
I might have got a little uppity after she said that, but I was just like, fuck, can I just get out of this situation, please? Anyways, yeah, I gave this.
I'll fix your fucking heater for free if you shut up.
I think other than the Royal Rumble match, this is the one I've seen the most because this is on another DVD I have. I think it's like something about the Dawn of Attitude. That's what it's called. Yeah, and this match was on that. And,
that makes sense.
It does. It really does. So I think this, other than the Royal Rumble match, is probably the one that I've seen the most. The casket match. But yeah, I gave it a 2 out of 5. It was a little too chaotic to really pay attention to, and it felt more like an angle than a match, which it really was to set up their Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood. But
yeah. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what do we give In Your House Ground Zero?
You know, it was a mixed bag, and I think mostly the retro pay-per-views do a better rating than this from me, but I gave it a 6 out of 10.
I gave it a 7. Because the only match that really missed for me was fucking the light heavyweight title match, and it probably would have did not light heavyweight title, but the light heavyweight match, and it probably would have did better if Putski didn't blow out his fucking, put his kneecap in his fucking thigh.
Yeah.
If Pillman and Goldust, it wasn't a bad match. It just, I've seen better opening matches. 2 3/4 star. I mean, it ain't terrible. I mean, it could be better. But the minis match just shocked me.
Yeah.
Because once they said, "Oh, we're gonna see the minis in action," I was just like, "Jesus Christ, it's gonna be a Max."
Piss break.
Yeah, I thought, and I knew it was Max Mini.
Yeah.
Because I remember him being around at that time, so I was like, "Jesus Christ, a Max Mini match! I don't want to watch this." But then I ended up fucking loving it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it was the numbness on my hand that was doing it. I don't know. But I ended up fucking loving it. And of course, Bret Hart and Patriots. Like again, I think it's such an underrated match. When people talk about like some of the best world title matches, this one never gets talked about. I think it's fucking fantastic. Again, it's like the same reason we talk about Undertaker and Jeff Hardy in that ladder match. Talk about, climb the ladder, kid. Make yours, and then plus there's that moment where Jeff Hardy, reaches up and actually touches the world title, and you believe in that moment that he's going to become world champion. Then bam, bam, there's the chair shot, and it's over. And like that, this match had those moments in there for me where it's just like, fuck, Patriot's actually going to fucking do it. And of course he doesn't, so that's why I love that match so much. So yeah, right. I got to go 7 on that one.
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right. So that was our review of In Your House Ground Zero. Next week we will be doing we will be doing shut up. We'll be doing AEW Double or Nothing and Night of Champions.
Mm-hmm.
and NXT Battleground.
Ugh. I don't even know who wrestles in NXT anymore other than Braun Breaker.
Carmelo Hayes.
I was actually just about to say him. Isn't he the NXT champion right now?
He is.
Ah, yes, true.
Yeah, there you go. Plus Tiffany Stratton and Leah Valkyra for the women's title.
Oh, Cora Jade's still there too.
Yep, she lost in the semifinals of the tournament. But
I heard about that. Yeah, that's the only reason I know she's still there.
What else were they having there? Oh yeah, Dijak, as he's known as now. Dijak and Ilya Dragunov in a last man standing match.
For what?
What do you mean for what?
Well, there's no title on the line. Do they have some like blood feud going
on?
on?
Blood feud. Yeah, blood feud.
All right.
Yeah. And what's the North American title? I can't remember who the North American champion is right now.
Well, certainly not Roddy Strong. Did you see who debuted on Dynamite?
I know, right? I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. He was my favorite wrestler. I idolized him. You did? You wrestled nothing like him.
I'm like, when did I ever see you point to the fucking sky? And
yeah. It was so random. It was just really random. I don't know why.
Oh, plus they're going to do Noam Dar versus Dragon Lee for the NXT Heritage Cup.
That's still a thing, eh?
Yeah, they brought it back because Noam Dar was off TV for a while, so he brought back the Heritage Cup, and it's going to be under British rounds. Then there's going to be Wesley versus Tyler Bate versus Joe Gacy in a triple threat match.
For what?
For the North American title.
Oh, okay. Well, at least it's for a championship. I hate it when they just do triple threat matches to do a triple threat match. It's like, what the fuck?
And then it's going to be Gallus versus the Creed brothers in their like 97th tag team title match that they've had.
To be fair, I have never seen those two go at it, so
there we go. So yeah, let's do Battleground and AEW Double or Nothing. Let's change it up.
No.
What? Come on, be a team player.
No.
Be a team player.
No.
Give me what I want. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. Give me what I want.
No.
Give me what I want.
Hey, you know, that bet that Nick and I have going on ends at Double or Nothing as well.
You know, they were talking about bringing in Goldberg, but I don't think it's going to happen now.
No, I don't think it is either. I think he's going to fucking lose that.
Unless he shows up at fucking Double. If he shows up at Double or Nothing, does it count?
Yeah, that's like the cutoff. That's
okay. I didn't know if it was like before Double or Nothing. So.
No. I said Double or Nothing because I don't think if he doesn't show up by Double or Nothing, I don't think there's any plans for him. Could you imagine if he just came out at the end of the fucking Fatal 4-Way match or whatever, if fucking speared MJF?
Yeah, but putting MJF over Goldberg would be kind of cool.
It would be. I don't know how they do it, but it would be cool.
Well,
I don't think they would.
See, first you would have to have Goldberg on his shoulders, and then the idea is to have the referee count 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
So then you put MJF in a match against Goldberg.
Is that how it works?
And then, you just asked how.
It's not what I meant.
Don't ask me stupid questions if you don't want stupid answers, okay?
Fair enough.
Anyway, now we're going to move on to our segment, which is Today in Wrestling History. Which
this week in wrestling history.
This week, yeah, whatever the fuck today it's called. Last week it was Today in Wrestling History. Now we're back to This Week in Wrestling History.
Yeah, it changes every week.
Do your goddamn segment.
All right, so I did get 3 this week, and 1 is for today when this podcast comes out. So, first one.
Shit, it might be out tonight, considering the time we're making here. Shit.
Well, fuck, I do have one for today as well. May 25th.
There we go.
But yesterday, May 24th, 1973, Harley Race defeats Dory Funk Jr. to become NWA World Heavyweight Champion for the first time. Amazingly, at age 83, Dory Funk Jr. still trains future professional wrestlers and only retired from in-ring competition in 2020. Which is fucking, it's mind-boggling. I don't know how many matches
Harley Race is one of the old school guys, one of them armbar type of guys that I actually enjoy.
Yeah, well, he was a man's man. He was a tough guy, I think you could enjoy Dory Funk too. And I don't remember what pay-per-view it was, but we were trying to watch that one. It wasn't.
Yeah, the World Wrestling Legends. Yeah.
Yeah, and like it cut off at the match that Dory Funk was in, and it was looking pretty good. It was a tag match, and it was a pretty good match. I was like, damn, because I haven't seen a lot of Dory Funk either, but
Yeah,
other
for
than the
those of you
problem.
listening at home, we were gonna review this show that Brian Zane. I got the idea from Brian Zane, and it was World Wrestling Legends, and it was the show that was famous for Chris Kanyon officially coming out as gay. It was always speculated, but that was the show where he officially came out as gay. So we're like, yeah, fuck, let's review that. But apparently it was missing like 3 of the matches. So I was just like, fuck it. If we're going to review it, I want to review the whole show. So then we
I
switched
don't
to
even
something else.
think it had the Chris Canyon part in it either.
I think it did.
Maybe it did. Maybe
Yeah.
it did, and I just didn't finish it because.
Yeah, because we're just like, all right, if it doesn't have the whole show, fuck it. So we switched to something else that week.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
And then today, as we record, May 25th, 2019, AEW presents Double or Nothing, their very first official pay-per-view. Highlights included Chris Jericho beating Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks beating the Lucha Bros for the AAA tag team titles, and Cody beating Dustin in the brother versus brother match, which
wasn't that when Mox debuted too?
I think he debuted after the Kenny Omega match. Yeah, because he beat the shit out of Omega.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I still think that the Cody and Dustin feud was probably one of the best feuds they've ever done in AEW.
That was a great match. I will give
and that was a very good match and a very good package too. I fucking love that song. I still have it on my Spotify. Shoes by the Enable Band. It's a country song. I'm not a big country guy.
Wasn't the AAA title? Wasn't that a ladder match?
Yeah, I believe it was. It was I believe it was a ladder match. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's when if I'm not mistaken, that's when Penta did a Canadian Destroyer through a table off the ladder, and I was just like, this is insane.
This is what I was still like looking forward to AEW. Not that I don't entirely now, but I had a different opinion on it then. So I don't remember that match specifically, but I do remember Cody and Dustin. I remember Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho.
Maybe that should be our next retro pay-per-view review.
That doesn't feel retro enough yet. I don't know. I guess we did Backlash 2016, so
yeah, that was
anyways.
your pick, by the way.
That was my pick, and I enjoyed like 1 or 2 matches on it. And then tomorrow, May 26th, 1987. Now, this is the way it was written, and I'm pretty sure this is fucking wrong. In one of the most high-profile events of kayfabe being broken, Nikolai Volkov and Hacksaw Jim Duggan were arrested whilst driving in New Jersey for suspect. Yeah, it's fucking Iron Sheik, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why it was Nikolai Volkov. Anyways, Iron Sheik and Hacksaw were arrested whilst driving in New Jersey for suspected possession of drugs and drinking whilst driving. The kicker was the two were feuding at the time, and when the news made headlines across the U.S., the face versus heel dynamic was shattered. As a result, both men were fired. Both returned to the company within 12 months. Fucking huge at the time. Now it's
yeah, because people were just like, what?
Yeah.
Why are they traveling together if they hate each other?
Yeah. That doesn't make sense. They should be killing each other on the side of the road.
Exactly, yeah. But now they're friends. See, that'd been a great way to cover that, though, is that, like, just, do a segment on, like, I don't know, Piper's Pit at the time, where, like, now they're fucking buddies.
They got into drugs after work, and they're like, yeah.
Well, maybe not that far, but like,
we were driving down the road,
like
all high on
out
coke.
there, like, I heard you two were on the road driving when you two were supposed to be enemies, and then Sheik's like, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, my best friend now. I don't know, fucking.
Yeah,
Sorry, I slammed my hand down when I did that shit.
I think it would have been a strange turn of events, but I feel like that's really the only way you could save it.
Mm-hmm.
And it might have helped them. But I mean, neither of them had bad careers after that. I mean, Iron Sheik went on to get hired by WCW and fucking not do anything for 2 years and still get paid. So couldn't have been that bad.
Yeah,
Jim
Hacksaw,
Duggan.
Hacksaw went to WCW, became a United States champion, became a janitor, became the TV title champion.
I mean, he also had some shots at the world title when the Giant had it, but yeah, he I mean, he kept around, right? He probably made some money off. He probably made good money off fucking WCW. I'll bet he had one of those Turner contracts instead of a WCW contract.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Plus, he's kicked Cancer's ass twice.
And he's just a badass. He fucking.
I mean, that's badass. You kick Cancer twice,
And somebody like broke into his home like a year ago or something, and he fucking fought him off too.
Yeah. I mean, Lou Gehrig died of fucking Lou Gehrig's disease. How the fuck did you not see that one coming, you know?
Wow.
Ain't no
Good
fucking
one.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan disease, let me tell you that much, man.
That's true. That's Hacksaw Jim Duggan is the disease in a good way.
All right, so now we're moving on to our vintage pick of the week. Oh yeah, no after game this week, because whatever. But our vintage pick of the week is usually a match, a show, promo, fucking something, video package, could be anything, whatever we find that's wrestling related that we think that you guys should go look up and watch. So Shelby, what's your vintage pick of the week?
This is kind of a series of matches. I thought they had 3. There's only 2 on the network, but I think there might be a third one. Superstar Billy Graham versus Dusty Rhodes. They had a singles match. These were all in 1977. September was the first one, and October was the second. And October was a Texas Death Match, and they're both really good matches. And they show you like who Dusty and Billy Graham were at that time. Dusty was like half the size that he would be like 10 years later when he was working for fucking Crockett. So pretty cool. Pretty cool.
All right. And my vintage pick of the week is going to be the entire first season of WrestleLicious. Shelby?
Yeah.
Yes, I read it.
Okay.
I was just waiting for a reaction.
Yeah.
No, but I actually went with a classic. This is actually like my gateway. And I mean, I've always seen Japan wrestling, and I've seen some here and there, but I never was really like, whatever. But this match actually was just like, wow, this shit can actually be really entertaining. And that's Omega versus Okada 1. Because that was a match that, like, I heard it happen, but then people online just kept talking about, like, Omega and Okada, Omega and Okada, Omega. I'm like, fuck, I'm going to watch this match, see if it's any good. And it was fucking incredible. And it was kind of like my introduction to Kenny Omega as well.
That's the one that he lost, right?
Yes.
Because he faced him twice, and I think he beat him the second time.
No, I think Omega won this one and lost the next 2.
Okay, that could be. I don't remember. I do remember watching at least one of those matches. I think my first one was Jericho and Omega. Alpha and Omega.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. But there's the bell, so we know what that means. That signifies this special edition of the Three-Way Dance Wrestling Podcast, sans Nick. But Nick also will not be here next week as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because that's what it's because you were going to be gone last week, and we said, screw it, we'll take a break. So yeah, it will be me and Shelby reviewing AEW Double or Nothing and NXT Battleground.
No.
So, come on.
No.
Don't do it for me. Do it for the listeners.
I'm not doing it for me.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm not doing it for me.
Do it for the listeners.
No, I'm not doing it for me.
We'll figure this out later. So yeah, until next.
We figured it out.
We'll figure it out.
We figured it out.
No, we'll figure it out.
We figured it out.
All right, fine. We'll do AEW Double or Nothing and NXT Battleground. How about that?
No.
All right.
That's exactly what you just said before. It's the same thing.
AEW Battleground or AEW Battleground. Fuck. AEW Double or Nothing and the first episode of Last of Us. How about that?
No.
Man, you suck.
That's
all right. So podcast. For Shelby, I am the artist version 1. Until next week, be breezy.